Welcome back to another episode of Jason's Bricks and 5, where I discuss LEGO content in videos of around 5 minutes. I am in Southern California, and you might be wondering why I'm at a Gelson's Market. Well, I'm going to explain to you in the next couple minutes what this location has to do with this guy, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So we are just outside of Los Angeles, right near Griffith Park, if you're familiar with the Southern California area. And we are on Hyperion Avenue. And this is a famous location because this spot here, where this Gelson's Market is, was the original location where Walt Disney built his Walt Disney Brothers studio back in 1926. Now, Oswald cartoons were made by Disney in 1927 and 28. Later, Mickey Mouse, Snow White came, but the first cartoons that were Oswald were made here. So you could say this is the birthplace of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So without this place, we would not have Oswald, we wouldn't have Mickey, we wouldn't have some other things, but most importantly, we wouldn't have Oswald and the Oswald CMF and the Oswald Army. So on Hyperion Avenue, they have a sign, point of historical interest, site of Walt Disney's original animation studio, 2719 Hyperion Avenue, 1926 to 1940. And this was dedicated October of 1976. So welcome home, Oswald. So the area around the studio, as it began to get larger and expand with the success of Mickey Mouse, later Snow White, they expanded to surrounding buildings just to cover the space. There's not really much left from the studio. There is one building just around the corner here we're gonna go check out and see. But it was in 1940 that they moved to the new, much larger studio because they had had success from Snow White and they could afford it. Plus the work needed larger space. So this building behind me is the only remaining building used by the studio, from what I understand. They really just bought houses nearby and expanded and had multiple artists and workers in rooms just sharing the space. So kind of interesting to see that there's one piece of space left from Oswald's history. Now just around the corner is one other space I'm going to just quickly show you that's kind of pertinent to Disney history, so we'll just be right there. All right, so here we are just a couple blocks from the studio. This house on the corner, the reason this is important, this was actually Walt Disney's first house in the California area when he moved out here. He and his brother Roy, when they moved out and started their company, they built their houses. This was his on the corner, the one next to it. That was where Roy lived. And the two of them, this is where they lived while they first started the studio and got things going. It was actually a kit home that they built. So Walt was pretty handy and chose to actually build it. So that's gonna do it for today's episode. Hopefully you found this somewhat interesting on the history of Oswald and his birthplace. And we'll see you next time on Jason's Bricks and 5. Happy building!